you aren't going to be able to buy as much making the same amount of money. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Teresa. And if you've never been here before, I help premium content creators harness the entrepreneurial skills that they're learning right now in order to build a better future. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the recession. There has been a lot of controversy and debate recently about how long GDP has to be going down for it to count as a recession. And according to the Oxford Dictionary, it is 2 quarters, and that's what I've heard mostly. But I've also heard recently that they changed the definition of a recession, and I don't really know what they changed it to. So if you hear someone say that, I don't know. But we're going off of it is 2 periods in a row where the gross domestic product has gone down. On this channel, I often preach the importance of diversification, and normally I use that term in context of like when you're making content for your OnlyFans, like you want it all to look different. But another way that you can diversify is by having multiple streams of income. And we as sex workers, especially online sex workers, we have the added benefit that we make our own hours. So if you are not making enough money on OnlyFans right now, you can go do something else as well. And even if you don't want to do that, as people's wages go down, then they have less extra spending money to spend on things like OnlyFans that are just for pleasure, right? So we have to hedge against that. And just keep in mind, if you're really dreading this transition, that the economy is cyclical. So yes, we're gonna go through this phase where everything is down, and we're actually suffering from what is called stagflation, which is when wages stagnate at the same time that we're having inflation. While normally when we're in a recession, like back in 2008, all you really had to do, I don't want to say all you really had to do because that's kind of minimizing the impact of what happened in 2008. But really, if you could save some money, then you were fine in theory. Obviously, in 2008, I was 10 years old, so I didn't know anything about the economy. But now I am 24 years old, and I'm just trying to let you know what I've learned in the years since then. So back in 2008, in theory, you could just save money and that would help you reduce the pain that you're getting of facing a recession. However, since we're seeing inflation at historic highs of 9.1%, I just saw somebody on Twitter say that they are spending an extra $500 a month. And how are you supposed to save to pay an extra $500 a month? There's something like 67% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck already. So you're asking them to come up with an extra $500 a month, if not more. And that's what we're gonna be talking about today in this video, is what can you do as a content creator to make a little extra money during the recession, and also how to save money, because if you're making more money but you're also spending it all, then it's basically like you didn't do anything. In the rest of this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 action steps that you can take in order to prepare and hedge against this upcoming recession, or if we're like already in it. I don't really know. Let me know down below if you think we're in a recession already, if you think we're not in a recession, if you think we're not in a recession but we're still having issues due to inflation. Comment down below, let me know what you're thinking. And even though this isn't technically one of the action steps, the first thing I want you to do is be totally honest with yourself. Because a lot of times we underestimate how much we're spending and we overestimate how much we're saving. Or if we're not saving at all, we just think that it's gonna be fine. And sometimes it is, but when you're planning ahead for a time like this, when we're facing stagflation, you need to be very precise with these calculations. The very first step is to analyze your finances. Go look and see how much you're making now versus how much you were making previously. Obviously, like I said, it's over the past 2 quarters, our sales have probably been down. It might not be for you, but just remember, even if your income has stayed consistent throughout the past few months, that inflation is at 9.1%. So you aren't going to be able to buy as much making the same amount of money. So you're still gonna need 9.1% more than what you've been making in the past in order to sustain your lifestyle. The second step is to cut some of your unnecessary expenses. And I'm not gonna tell you to stop buying everything. Like, I'm not gonna tell you like stop going to Starbucks. I'm not gonna say like stop doing whatever, but just keep in mind that when you are putting money toward those things, they're not going toward other things. I think that should be some pretty simple math. You should always leave some room in your budget for fun spending money, because if you are not happy with your life because you literally have no joy in it because all you're focused on is saving your money, then you're not really living. Like, what's the purpose of hoarding all of this cash and like working your entire life away? So make sure that even when you're creating a budget, leave maybe like 10% just for spending money. Just like I said earlier, our economy is cyclical. So just because you're cutting these things out right now doesn't mean that you are never gonna have them again. It's just going to be a short period of time where you're going to have to shift your priorities. And I would also like to mention that as an OnlyFans creator, your body is your business. So I recommend cutting things like getting your nails done, getting your eyebrows waxed, things like that. Like, maybe you can cut some things out. Like, if you're doing something really insane like Botox, maybe you can skip out on that for a little while. But your body is your business, so make sure that it looks its best and that you are prioritizing your appearance, because that's how you're going to make more money. My third action step is to figure out how you can make more money. So do a little bit of self-reflection. Think about, what am I good at? What skills have I obtained in my life? And what do I enjoy doing? And how much time is available in my schedule? Asking yourself these 4 questions will help you evaluate when it comes time to look for an additional stream of income, usually as a side hustle. One thing that I did as I was getting ready for this recession is I started pretty small, which I mentioned in my video about how much money I made on OnlyFans this year, that for a little while I was doing something like Instacart. So that's something very, very small that you can work around your schedule at any time. And that's kind of nice, because then you figure out how much time and energy you need to be putting into these other areas of your life. If that doesn't sound like something that interests you, there are a ton of videos on YouTube about side hustles. I'm actually thinking about doing one myself. So please give this video a thumbs up if you would like to see a video about my top 10 ideas for side hustles for content creators. One of the things that I've done that I really enjoy actually is that I have looked at this not as a hindrance in my journey, but as an opportunity, because I have become very reliant on my OnlyFans income, that I've just gotten very used to it. I've gotten very stagnant, I feel like, and this kind of pushed me to do more things that I'm interested in, like finding some modeling work. I've also been doing meal prep for some people, and those are some things that I really like to do. I love interacting with the public. That's one reason that I've really enjoyed these modeling jobs that I've been doing, and I like to cook. It also inspired me to start eating healthier as well, because I was cooking healthy food for my clients all the time, and that kind of inspired me to practice with my own recipes. So if you look at this as an opportunity rather than like something that's getting in your way, you can learn some new skills that will help you out in the future as well. Tony Robbins, he always talks about companies that are built for winter, and that's kind of what you're trying to do, is you're trying to build up this income stream so that you can make it through this recession. And once you're through this recession, if you make it, even if you're barely scraping by, once we're out of this and the economy is good again, once it goes back to normal, then you will already have the systems in place to be successful whether you're in a recession or not. The fourth piece of advice I'm going to give you is to try to repurpose things that you already have. So, like I said, I don't really like to restrict myself from things that I enjoy, but I also try to look at the core feeling that I receive when I get those things. So one thing that I love to do, I love to shop. I love having new clothes. I love putting new outfits together. So one of the things I've been practicing instead of spending money and going out and shopping is I've been practicing my sewing skills. So instead of buying a brand new dress that's like $100 or something, I will sit at home and I will sew my own clothes, which again, it's another one of those transferable skills that will help you for years to come. And your thing might not be, thrift flips. That's one of the things I like to do. I like to buy clothes from the thrift store and then I like to, chop them up, sew them up, and then I like to wear them because it gives me that same feeling of like having new clothes, having a new look to try out while also saving me money. And my fifth piece of advice for you going into this recession would be to create a schedule. So one thing that Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, has talked about before is how she likes to bucket her days. So on Monday, she does things for one area of her life. On Tuesday, she does one thing. On Wednesday, she does, okay, you get the point, right? So that's kind of what I like to do. If you know anything about me, I'm in school 2 days a week, and then I like to meal prep on Mondays and Fridays. I like to do my homework on Mondays and Wednesdays. I usually film my content or I work on the weekends, so like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And once you have a schedule in place, then you'll know how much time and energy you need to put into each different income stream because they're all gonna vary. OnlyFans actually takes up like quite a bit of time and energy, but if you're doing something simple like Instacart shopping, you can do that at any time. If you have an hour to kill, literally just go pick up another job, which I know it sucks. I know you don't wanna do that, but sometimes we have to do things that we don't wanna do just to get by. Like we're living in unprecedented times. I'm sure you've heard that a million times, so have I. But it's not like this hasn't happened before. Stagflation also happened, what was it, like back in the 80s or the 70s maybe? So one thing that I really like to do is I like to look up advice from those times. Actually, I just watched a video about money saving hacks from the Great Depression. So there's tons of resources online to help you figure out what the hell is going on, how to save money, where to go to make more money. I've watched a bunch of side hustle videos and there are things in those lists that you would never even consider, in my personal opinion. So if you like this video so far, make sure that you give it a big thumbs up and also leave a comment down below. What was your favorite tip and what action steps are you going to take in order to make more money or save more money during this recession? Thanks for tuning in and I'll see you in the next one.